Hello, my name is John Lord, and I will be your instructor for Accounting 73. I wanted to put together this welcome video because I know that some of you have looked and had some questions about the way the course is going to be structured and what we're going to be doing this quarter. So I thought it'd be okay if I put together this introductory video to help you with that. You can see that I have Canvas on the screen here. And you can see that, well, if you're watching this video, you've already have discovered the module here for the welcome video, and you've clicked on this and are watching this now. You can see that I have the screen in student view so that it'll help you to sort of see where some of the key elements are of the course here. And so I'm going to go through that, but I want to spend a little bit of time talking about my background. I have been teaching for 30 years in various capacities. Before really jumping into teaching, I started working as an auditor with the federal government, an agency called the Government Accountability Office. GAO is the auditing investigative arm of Congress, and I spent about 26 years there doing various financial statement audits and program audits. I retired from that about 10 years ago and have been focusing exclusively on teaching since then. But during my time at the GAO, maybe after about 7 years of the GAO, I started teaching the CPA exam. And I still teach the CPA exam at Golden Gate University in San Francisco, where I'm the director of the CPA Applied program. There we have classes that line up with the various parts of the CPA exam. We give college credit as candidates prepare for and hopefully pass the CPA exam. And I've been doing that in various capacities at Golden Gate for about 20 years, but I also taught directly with Becker. You may have heard of the Becker CPA review course. I've been teaching that for nearly 30 years. So working for the federal government, started teaching for Becker for the CPA, started teaching at Golden Gate, the university level. Been doing that for about 20 years now. And then, as I mentioned, 10 years ago, I decided to retire from the GAO and teach full time. And so I have taught at San Francisco State, San Jose State, UC Berkeley, retired from the state system some years ago, and now I continue to teach, obviously, as I've mentioned, at Golden Gate, obviously De Anza, and also at Stanford, where I teach both in the Management Science and Engineering School and also in the School of Medicine. So that's what I've been doing, as I've mentioned, over 30 years, lots of teaching, lots of experience doing audits. And I give some of those backgrounds, the various audits that I've done, including audits of IRS financial statements, the consolidated financial statements for the federal government, Bureau of Public Debt. I also did program audit where I looked at entities like the Department of Housing and Urban Development, looked at stimulus money to see that those funds were being used appropriately. So I bring some of those experiences into the discussion that you'll see in the various lectures that we'll have, and I'm giving you that background to give you some context as to where some of those examples are coming from. So what I want to do here is go ahead and go through the way the course is organized here on Canvas, go through the syllabus with you a little bit and give you some recommendations as to how I think you can be successful in this course. And I think you will be successful in this course. We take a pretty straightforward approach here. So you can see the syllabus. You can click on that, you probably have already, and it'll open up the Word file for you, which is the syllabus here. You can see my contact information. You can see my telephone number. You can call, you can text that. That's my cell phone. So, there's really no restrictions on that. You can call anytime, you can text anytime on that. You can see my email here at De Anza. Obviously, the class is online. Office hours are on Thursdays, 10 to 11:30 a.m. via Zoom. And I want to double check, so, this is an online class, you'd have to be on Zoom, but I need to double check. Did I put the Zoom link in uh, Canvas? And it does not look like I did. So what I'll be doing, and I apologize for that, after I finish this video, you don't want to sit here and watch me do this. I'm going to go ahead and add a module here that will give you the link to the office hour. Okay, so you can click on that link in Canvas for Zoom once I have it. I'm not sure why I didn't put it in there. And I'll put it there, and then you can join the office hour as need be. Okay, there's no requirement that you come. Textbooks, I have two optional textbooks. Okay, neither are required. There are two optional textbooks here. One is going to be this fraud examination, fourth edition. Okay, and you can acquire that from Wiley. Okay, the other is this fraud examination textbook. This is a Cengage product, okay? And I give you instructions as to how to acquire this and take advantage of the optional period where they'll let you try the book out to see if you want the book. Most of the lectures are centered around this textbook's organization, but there is a very close nexus between the two books. And so I give you the option of choosing both or either or neither. You don't have to get these textbooks. I have students that have been very successful in this class without having the textbooks by looking at the slides that I'll use in the recorded lectures week to week and the practice midterms that I give you. Most students are very successful that way. Okay. Now I'll let you read through on your own the course description and some of the course objectives, but just to sort of understand, at a high level, what we're learning in the fraud class. So what happens? We have auditors. Auditors come in and they look at various things, such as in a financial statement audit, we look to see that the entity followed generally accepted accounting principles promulgated by a standard setting body, such as the Financial Accounting Standards Board. And we follow various standards, such as those issued by the AICPA's Auditing Standards Board. And that's really what we talk about in Accounting 58. What we do here is we really carve out a very specific niche of auditing, of examination of an entity. And those are dealing with issues related to fraud. Fraud is defined as an intentional intent to deceive users of financial statements, to steal, okay, and that would be lying, or to steal. Maybe sometimes employees will steal from the employers, the public will steal from employers. Sometimes we'll have situations where employers are engaging in fraud, maybe financial reporting fraud, lying to get potential investors to make investments based on intentionally false information. Okay, so what we look at in here, and we start out at a high level. What causes someone? Why would someone feel motivated to commit fraud? I mean, we're all, taught when we're young, fraud is wrong, lying is wrong, tell the truth, right? Okay, so what causes a person who should hopefully have that correct input to all of a sudden shift and intentionally, that's an important part of fraud, intentionally decide to do something counter to which, as a society, we've all agreed is appropriate, which is not lying, not stealing, not following rules. So we talk about that. We then talk about structures that will help to prevent somebody from even getting into the mindset to think to do that, or if they do, prevent that from going through and leading to some sort of losses. We will also look at structures to detect if somebody has actually crossed that line. And we start out at a high level, and then we're going to dig into very specific types of fraud schemes, such as larceny of cash. Larceny is a fancy word for stealing, such as financial reporting fraud, such as customers stealing from the company, et cetera. Okay, so we'll get into the more specifics, and I'm gonna go through the syllabus here in a couple seconds, and you'll see how that'll flow when I do. We'll start at a high level, and we'll get into some more specific fraud schemes as we go through. So that's very different to what we do in, say, just a general auditing course, where we do talk about consideration of fraud, but this is now saying, okay, you're in an engagement, there's been allegations of fraud, and how are you going to look at these various aspects as we bore down into what has happened in a particular situation. So you can see some of those schemes there as you read through the syllabus, and I'm going to go through the detailed syllabus to show you how we're going to work our way through those various objectives as we go through the class. We generally work through exams in this class. Okay, and generally that's how I will be evaluating your performance. So we will have 3 exams. Each exam will consist of 30 multiple choice questions totaling 100 points, and that will constitute, there'll be 3 exams total 300 points that will constitute 75% of your grade. We will have a guest speaker, and the guest speaker will talk about various types of fraud schemes and whatnot, and how companies, and he mostly talks about startup companies, which I found particularly interesting, of how companies that are starting up maybe don't pay attention to the structure to prevent, detect fraud, and then they end up finding themselves being subject to some sort of fraudulent behavior and whatnot. So I think you'll find that, and we'll have that later on in the term, probably in May. I'll have a recording of the guest speaker, and I'll ask you to do a 3-page write-up. There'll be specific rubric questions that I'll ask you to respond to related to that. It's about 3 pages. Not a terribly difficult writing assignment. I am okay if you use what is it? The GPT chat for that. However, when I say that, you can use it to give yourself a first pass, because I see it as a tool to get you started on gathering information that, or words that will help you to answer that question. But what happens is then students I've found have then just turned that in. They just throw it in the thing, the chat thing, and they don't massage it and work it to really make sure that it is carefully tailored towards answering the questions based on what our guest speaker said and in your own words. And it's very easy. I have to tell you, if you think turning things in through CPT chat, and I know I'm messing that up, but whatever it's called now, if you think that it's undetectable, the whole world knows when you have simply just done that and turned that in. So don't fall into that trap. Okay, use it as a tool, sure, but then that's really just a start, and then you work that to make it very much your own ownership. Okay, and so that would be the approach. I'm not saying you have to use that chat thing, but if you decide to use it, don't just turn in the paper like that, because I will not give you points for that kind of an effort. Okay, those are our grading elements. Most students live up here. Okay, I don't have assigned homework. I'm going to show you how you'll get sort of ready for your exam. So there's no homework points. Most students, though, when it comes to grades, live up here. Okay, I get very few students down in here, maybe 1 or 2. And the reason that happens is they simply don't do the course. And one of the big things is they don't take the exams when they are scheduled. And I don't have much sympathy for you not taking the exam when it's scheduled. I give you ample warning, advance notice of when the exam's going to be, how to be prepared for the exam. I give you a nice window of time as to when you can take the exam. I expect you to take it when it is due and turn it in on time. Okay, so I get students say, oh, I forgot to take the exam. Please open it back up for me. And that's not going to happen. Okay, you need to take the exam when it's scheduled. Okay, so you can see week to week how our lectures are going. And this looks a little backwards to you maybe, in that we start with the introduction and then we're all the way to chapter 11. And I did it this way because I think it's useful to understand what the standards are before we start talking about different schemes, such as financial statement fraud schemes, how to assess risks associated with that. And then we start talking about various techniques such as interviewing witnesses and whatnot. Our midterm is scheduled for the week of May 13th. And forgive me, I need to look at my calendar here. So the exam will open, the first exam, midterm one, will open on May 13th at 12 a.m. That's 12 midnight. It'll stay open and it'll remain open that entire week and will close at 11:59 on Sunday, May 19th. So the exam stays open basically a week. You choose within that week a 3-hour window as to when you will take the 30 multiple choice questions. I'm going to show you where in Canvas you'll do that. I might as well show you that right now. So you come over and in Canvas, you'll click on the quizzes. And that's where you'll see the midterms. Now, it's not going to be these because I'm going to go ahead and update these as we go forward, but you can see this is where they are. And you'll click on midterm 1, you'll click on it, and you'll go through. And I misspoke. I see it's 25 questions, not 30. So there'll be 25 multiple choice questions, 25 multiple choice questions that you will go through and you will work for your exams. And it's open the entire week. You choose a 3-hour window. So you click on there at, say, 9 a.m. on, I'll just pick a day, Friday, May 17th. Okay, 9 a.m. I'm smiling because that so happens to be my birthday also. But anyway, at 9 o'clock, May 17th, you go ahead in the morning, you click on that and you do what? You spend the 3 hours and it'll close hard on you at 12 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, it closes hard on you. Okay, so there is no, okay, we'll extend the time past the 3 hours. No, if you don't give yourself a full 3 hours, for example, you start the exam at 9 p.m. on the 19th and you don't finish it, it will close on you at 11:59. You won't even get the 3 hours. You'll get 1 minute less than that. Okay, so make sure you give yourself ample time, 3 hours to work the exam. Be prepared to take the 3 hours to work it. May not take you 3 hours, but it will close on you at 3 hours. So make sure you can finish in that time and make sure you take it before, and you'd have to start it, at 8:59 p.m. on May 19th. And I don't recommend you do that. Okay, you should pick some other time during that week because it is open that entire week. The midterm 2 will also work the same way. And the final, which is not comprehensive, which will cover all the chapters that were talked about from midterm 2 to the end of the class. Okay, there's only a few chapters in there, but generally we have about 3 or 4 chapters per exam. Okay, and we don't have a comprehensive exam. So write these dates down, put them in your phone right now. Everyone carries their phone around with them everywhere they go. Put the dates in your phone. Put an alert in there. Hey, this is the week you have to take your exam. Keep up with the course, really. Your best bet, week to week is to be going through and watching the lectures that I have there and going along with the slides here. Okay. And I guess I'm going to take one of these slides away. I'm not sure why I have 2 chapter 1 slides, but I'll be fixing that. But then you'll see the lecture. Those are recorded lectures. You'll see those. And you watch those while you're also looking at the slides. Make the notations on the slides if you want to print them or you want to have them on your tablet or something. That's all fine. And then I have the practice midterm questions. I'm going to see if that'll open for me in any kind of timely manner. Okay. And you can see that during the lecture, I will go through with you and show you how you would have thought about some of these to be able to answer these. These are very, very similar to what you see on the actual midterms. So again, the textbook is optional. I think you can be successful in this class. just watching the lectures, just looking at the slides, but you can try the textbook. And I think the Cengage book actually gives you a trial period there. However, do again note that most of the lectures and whatnot are lined up with the organization of the Wiley textbook. And so that's why I make both of these available to you if you would like to use this textbook or acquire this somehow from Wiley, you can, or you can get this one, or you can get neither and just rely on the slides and whatnot in the lectures and the practice midterms. Okay. All right. That is the way the course is organized. Okay. You can see the week to week detailed syllabus down here. So you should be, keeping up with this stuff as we go through the course. And again, my experience is that students that just sort of follow along with this in the online class here tend to be very successful with this. The key thing is make sure you don't miss the exams. And we'll be hearing more about the guest speaker as we move through the course. Okay, welcome to the course. I'll look forward to working with you, and good luck this quarter.